Welcome back to Straight Talk. I'm Laurel Porter, and welcome once again to my guest, Oregon 1st District Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici. It's great to have you here. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We're taping this on Friday afternoon on the 19th anniversary of the Columbine school shooting in 1999. And to mark that date, students across the country, including in the Portland metro area, walked out of class, many of them did, to draw attention to their demands that Congress take action to prevent gun violence. And you're a member of the House Task Force on Gun Violence Prevention. I know this movement has touched you. What is your message to students?
My message to students is I am so proud of the students, their voice and their courage when they're speaking up. Well, you mentioned, Laurel, it was the 19th anniversary of the tragic shooting at Columbine High School. That means there's an entire generation of students who have grown up with this notion that they're afraid of being shot in their school. It's completely unacceptable. We can't, as a society, accept this as normal. I had a student in Beaverton at a recent town hall meeting say to me, when I walk into my classroom now, the first thing I do is I try to find out where I can hide and how I can escape. And as a mom and as a policymaker, that is just heart-wrenching. And I'll tell you, my daughter, when she was in high school, was in a play here, a youth theater production called Columbinus, about the Columbine shooting. Watching her in that reenactment of Columbine, even though it was theater, was gut-wrenching and very, very disturbing. I can't imagine what these families go through when they are at home getting a text from their high school student who's in a closet or locked up in the back of a classroom with a shooter. I had the chance to meet some of the Parkland, Florida students, and I have spoken with students here in Oregon. I applaud their courage. They are making a difference. We need to listen to them. Nobody should be afraid to go to school.
And many of them are taking action. We have a photo of you with some students from Astoria who presented you with petitions from 80 of their classmates calling for stronger, tougher gun laws. You were part of a sit-in in the House 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, after the Pulse nightclub shooting, demanding that Speaker Ryan bring some gun prevention laws to the floor. Not a lot has changed since then.
No.
Are you hopeful at all that there will be any kind of reform?
Yes, I am. And we can't give up hope because it's unacceptable that people have to be afraid to go to a school or a place of worship or a concert hall. And after that Pulse nightclub shooting, we did have a sit-in on the House floor, which I admit was challenging as someone who follows rules, but we were fed up at the lack of action. But now that the students are speaking up, we saw a change recently. There was a clarification put into law that now finally it's clear that the Centers for Disease Control can research gun violence as a public health matter. We have Republican House members stepping up and saying we need to re-examine an assault weapons ban. We are seeing more bipartisan support because people are listening to these students and understanding gun violence in our schools and in our communities is unacceptable. There are many steps that we can take, of course, consistent with people's constitutional rights, that will make people more safe, and we should keep working at it and not give up hope.
On Friday, you signed on to a resolution with 170 other members of Congress calling for the resignation of EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt.
Yes.
Why?
Because Scott Pruitt, EPA Administrator Pruitt, is not doing the job that he should be doing as the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency with a mission to protect public health and the environment. And plus, I think people are very frustrated with the ethical lapses in this administration, the frivolous spending, and things that are a distraction from the mission of a very, very important agency. And I'll tell you, Laurel, as a member of the Science, Space, and Technology Committee that has oversight responsibility over the Environmental Protection Agency, Administrator Pruitt hasn't been to that committee once. Since this administration started. That's unacceptable. We need someone who's going to do the job of the Environmental Protection Agency in the way that and carry out the mission as it was intended without these ethical lapses.
Let's talk about the possibility of President Trump firing Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller, who's leading the Russia investigation. The president has denied, we're taping again on Friday afternoon, so things are fluid, denied any plans to fire Mueller, that there's any kind of time frame, but unconfirmed reports have fueled speculation. What are your thoughts about the possibility the president might fire Robert Mueller?
Nothing surprises me from this administration. I certainly hope he does not fire Robert Mueller, who's a highly regarded on both sides of the aisle. And I just have to say, Laurel, that it certainly looks like the president has something to hide. He should want the investigation to go forward. Let the investigation show what it does. And if he doesn't have anything to hide, he'll be fine. He's looking like he has something to hide. That investigation needs to continue. We need to find out what happened in our 2016 elections. We know Russia meddled in the election. We need all the information out there, and that's exactly what Mr. Mueller is doing. And I hope he's not fired.
Police departments across the country are preparing for demonstrations should that happen. Here in Portland, thousands of people have signed up to protest at Pioneer Courthouse Square. They say they can mobilize within hours if the president fires Mueller. The majority leader, Mitch McConnell, has said he won't bring a bipartisan bill to the Senate floor to protect Robert Mueller. There's an effort to try to get a bill passed. Do you think that the Congress should pass legislation to protect him?
Well, I think we should. I know Senator McConnell said that the president wouldn't sign it. I think we should. I don't know that leadership will bring that forward. But again, the president should stop looking like he has something to hide. Let's let this investigation play out. I tell you, my constituents have raised a lot of concerns about what happened in the elections and what is happening with this administration. So, I mean, I remember the Saturday Night Massacre that happened after Watergate. I hope that that President Trump doesn't try to fire Mueller. We'll see what happens.
Let's talk about another bill that you're supporting. You're a leader of the House Education and the Workforce Committee, and you introduced legislation to modernize the college federal work-study program. I remember the work-study program in my college. Some of my kids were part of it. Why does it need reform?
Well, it needs reform, Laurel, because it's been years since it's been updated. And I benefited from work-study when I worked my way through first Lane Community College and then University of Oregon and law school. Work-study was a great program for me. It has a wonderful potential to help more students, but we need to update the formula that gets work-study to students, because right now there are a lot of students who could benefit who are not able to take advantage because it's not going to the students who need it the most. So I'm working on have a legislation and working on updating that to not only make sure that students in need can have that work-study, but also that work-study jobs align with students' careers, so that and career interests, so they can get some experience that will help them once they enter the workforce. So I'm excited about the legislation, been working on it for a while, because I know how important it is for higher education to be accessible and affordable, and work-study is an important part of that.
We have less than a minute left, but I wanted to circle back to the opioid crisis and your report. Good work's being done, you're seeing some good progress, but still a lot of work to be done. The bottom line on the opioid crisis when it comes to Oregon.
Right, Oregon is making some progress. We've seen a downward trend in the number of pills prescribed per person. Still too many, though, when we look at the numbers. So there is a lot of good work being done, but we need more treatment, we need more prevention, we need better options for disposal. So I'm excited about the report that's being released on Monday, but hopeful that we can really make a difference in the lives of the people across Northwest Oregon and across the country, because far too many people and families have been devastated by the opioid crisis.
Congresswoman Bonamici, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your hard work on that report. I know it's been something you've been working on for months.
Indeed.
So we look forward to seeing the report coming out on Monday. We'll have a report for you on KGW. We always welcome your comments. You can send them to us on Twitter. Follow us at KGW Straight Talk. Straight Talk airs twice a week on KGW, Saturday at 4:30 p.m. and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. just after NBC Nightly News. Thank you again to my guest, Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next week for Straight Talk. Thank you so much.